What's going on, guys? We are back with a bittersweet one today. If you're not new to the channel, you know we have been stacking up a serious amount of projects. We have the ZR1, the Tesla, the Lifted Miata, and while I am having a blast with all those cars, it is taking up a lot of time, energy, and money. Unfortunately, that does mean one of the OG channel cars is up for sale. That's right, it's time to sell the 290,000 mile C6 Z06. So if you're not familiar with the car, I am going to put the playlist in the description below in case you want to check all that out and see where this car came from and how it got to where it is now. For those of you guys who don't want to do that and you're just here because you saw the thing for sale, some idiot put it in the ditch. The end. The car obviously sustained some front bumper damage, though it was all cosmetic and the actual frame was not affected. The driver's fender obviously needs some major work. The carbon split there, the bottom mount is jacked up. The driver's door just simply needs to be replaced. Fortunately, I do have a clean shell that I'm throwing in with the car. The rear quarter panel was also damaged, though fortunately not quite as bad. We do have some rocker damage. And unfortunately, it is both the back and front of it. As far as the underside, we got pretty lucky. The magnesium subframe, A-okay. The car did have a broken driver upper control arm, which we replaced earlier just to make it a roller. As far as other damage on the car, when we bought the car, we noticed this, which looks like damage to the floor that was repaired sometime previous in the car's life. The gist of it is, everything that needs to be replaced is bolt-on with the exception of the fender tubs, which in my opinion can be glassed and they don't need to be removed, replaced. These ones can be repaired. There's nothing missing to my knowledge. It's just cracked. And of course the rocker panel, which is the biggest pain point on this car. They're a nightmare to pull off, so you're not gonna wanna do that most likely. The easiest route there is to probably have somebody go with glass, just make the sections missing there. But that is about where the bad on the car ends. If you go back and look at some of our earlier videos, we were absolutely amazed at the condition of this car as far as paint, body, for being almost a 300,000 mile car. This is obviously subjective, but it looked more like a 80,000 mile car than nearly 300,000 miles. On top of that, almost everything in this car that had that mileage on it and is a wear item has been replaced. The calipers are 1,800 mile cyber grade calipers off a 2013 Z06. The rotors, though they don't look it now, have roughly 150 miles on them. It has new Bilsteins all the way around. The suspension corners, meaning the control arms, the hubs, all that good stuff was replaced with a significantly lower mile example on all four corners. The sway bars, the axles, all much lower units that you can see us put in some of the earlier videos. And if you're really curious, there's probably mileage references there as well. As for the interior, we also did some significant upgrades there. Though it is a little dirty now because it's been sitting and there's some stuff sitting in it, which goes with the car. I pretty much went around the thing when I bought it and replaced stuff like the airbag, the steering wheel, the seats, the center console with much cleaner example. The seats are 3LZ Sienna leather seats. It also got the 3LZ center console. We have the 08 and up carbon fiber radio bezel. And while that is it as far as upgrades go, it's just another area of the car that doesn't really show like 300,000 miles. Don't get me wrong, there are a couple small broken plastics. The door panel has a small crack in it. But overall, I'd say it's easily a 7.5 out of 10. As far as the engine bay, I left it as complete as possible. My original thought was to put this car back together at some point, obviously. So I didn't want to go cutting anything, hunting down a bunch of stuff when that time came. So all the harnesses, all that stuff. The whole idea being that this will make it much easier for somebody to put together at some point. As for what is missing and removed from the car, obviously the driveline. Engine, torque tube, trans, differential, the radiator, the condenser, the cooling fan, all that stuff is gone. You'll need a radiator support for it. The fuel tanks, the exhaust, the intake, all that stuff are gone as well. Simply because none of that stuff fit into the plans that I had for the car when I got it in this current state. But other than that, it is a full interior, minus the radio, full suspension roller. And while the trunk can't be jumped until there's a battery and a fuse box in it, there is a ton of the factory plastics, the horns, little bits of hardware that are in the trunk to go with the car. Again, I was planning on putting this together for myself, so I didn't want to make things harder than they needed to be. I'm gonna go ahead and toss some parts that I had set aside for it on it to make it easier for the next guy and get it down on the ground and get it outside. While they originally were going to be extra, I have decided to throw the chrome side marker trim in free. All right, there is our two-tone Z06. The door that I'm throwing in is red. So if you ever wanted to build your own C6 Harley Quinn, here you go, halfway there. We're obviously not going to throw all these plastics on because they have to come right back off, but all this stuff that I save for myself is going inside the car to go with it. I'm also going to throw a trans harness in and basically anything else I can find to make it easier for whichever one of you buys this beaut. The OGs definitely remember the absolute junk wheels that this car came on, which I do still have, but I couldn't do that to you. I'm going to throw the set of wheels that actually came on my C6 ZR1, which are OEM black wheels. One was cracked and welded, and it has a halfway decent but old set of pilots.
I honestly don't know where you put the gun, Carrington. Damn it! I just got it on the camera, hoping you wouldn't see it.
So in the interest of keeping this car, you know, numbers matching, yes, these are the Pilot Sports from the wreck. I put them on the ZR1 just to keep it with the car. So you are getting a nice. How old are these tires? Let's see.
Yeah, 16.
You're getting a nice 6-year-old set of tires with the car.
Size?
She ain't going nowhere.
Fender might, but...
What, you see me brush into it?
Yeah, it almost falling off, yeah.
So one thing I did forget to stress at the beginning of this video, the car is clean title. The wreck's not on insurance. The wreck didn't get reported. It's clean title.
Just watch out for the ditch on the other side.
Yo, Tyler, light him up.
Oh, man. She looks way more rough than I was expecting. I don't know. I just felt like it was going to be better.
Give me the camera. You know where I'm trying to sell this thing, right?
See, this side it doesn't look that bad.
No, I don't think so. We'll do one final walk around here, and I think Dalt, you're gonna get your car in over here now? All right, so if you thought this was the biggest piece of junk you were gonna see in this video, you were wrong. But again, here she is, all her glory. This is how it's gonna look when somebody picks it up. And again, probably my favorite part about the car, these seats were super awesome. I think they were out of a like 50,000 mile 3LZ car. Love that color ever since I've been in the C6s, and I finally got a car with one, and here she goes. I haven't quite decided how I want to structure it yet, but if somebody actually picks this car up and does something really cool with it, we'll do some kind of minor partnership, sponsorship, whatever you want to call it. This car is actually fairly special to me. I really enjoyed having it. I really enjoyed buying what is the highest mileage C6 Z06 in the world, to my knowledge. So I'm really hoping somebody actually does something cool with it. Look at this poor Miata.
You know things are really messed up when, you know, we got wrecked pieces of garbage like that thing sitting inside, and this fine piece of machinery is sitting out in the snow and the cold.
I mean, I guess he's not wrong.
All right, sneak peek.
Well, that's shiny. This is what, the 5.3 iron block?
Oh my goodness, here we go. Here we go.
You have to watch his video and see what's going on with this car, because it's actually going to be super awesome, despite how the car looks on the outside. So if you stuck around this long, you're probably already a fan of the channel, not just here to look at that thing. But as for what's next for me, obviously this will free us up a little money. You guys already saw I had my first Tesla track day. Of course, I promptly came home and spent $5,000, $6,000, $7,000-ish on track prep parts for this. We're gonna try to get all that on before our track day in February. And of course, we have the ZR1. I have an update coming out about this car shortly. The engine is off in good hands. I will leave it at that for now. And of course, as for the most important part of this whole ordeal, what's it cost? This is super hard to price. Me and Alex, the head sales guy here, have been going back and forth on it all day. We landed somewhere in the middle. So Alex, what are we selling it for?
I mean, I gotta be honest. First thing I see, the chrome surround.
I
mean, that's added.
I already told them that was free specifically.
Really?
I did.
You're gonna give that away for free?
I am.
We're gonna have to price under the car lease. Like, there's no
Okay,
way. You're
yeah, I
giving
get.
that away for free.
We'll do dealership tricks.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a complete roller with factory body panels. Obviously, this fender's cracked, but any good body guy can fix that. Like, it's still a complete fender. The door's under the hood. It should be on the side, but it's under the hood. I mean, obviously, the fender tails need a little bit of work. I mean, that headlight's not bad.
That was the more solid one.
Yeah,
that
I mean-
one's a little more floppy.
Yeah, I mean, the fender, but this fender's not damaged. Like,
Yeah, I mean it has like,
yeah.
it's not perfect,
It's
but
not perfect, but it's a completely good
Yeah.
Z06 fender. I mean, you saw what just happened when we just listed Z06 fenders on the website. They were all 4 sold
Yeah.
in 24 hours. But, I mean, full rear quarters, like, on good brakes, full interior with the Sienna, not everyone's choice, but
I mean it's not everybody's choice, but it should be.
yeah,
All right, so
no doubt.
I am gonna let Alex price this car. It's my car, not a company car. He's the man when it comes to this stuff, though. He knows his shit. What are we selling it for?
12.5.
12.5.
12.5.
Okay. That's it. If he would have said $6,000, I'd have had to go with it. But he said, 12.5, so it's
And I'll
12.5.
personally sign the windshield.
So I'm gonna have to knock money off for that. All right, you heard the man. 12.5 it is. Somebody come and get it. Do something cool with it. And on that note, it's a wrap. I will see you guys next time.